Have you ever noticed how you're always watching yourself, even when no one else is? Not just what you say, but how you say it, how it sounded, how it landed. And here's the strange part: you can have an easy day. Nothing bad happens, no conflict, no drama, yet you still feel mentally tired. And if you don't understand why, this quietly turns into burnout. This is why. Here's the psychology behind people who are highly self aware, sometimes too much. And once you see this pattern, you won't be able to unsee yourself again. Let's start with the truth most people get wrong. High self awareness doesn't feel like confidence, it doesn't feel calm. It feels like monitoring. Like there's a quiet camera inside your head, always recording. And the people who experience this the most, they rarely talk about it. Let's decode why. You don't just live moments, you review them. Most people live inside their actions. They speak, they move, they react. You step outside the moment. You hear your own tone while you're talking. You notice your posture mid sentence. You register reactions in real time. Psychology calls this high self monitoring. It's the habit of constantly evaluating how you're coming across. That's why you stop yourself halfway through a sentence, why you instantly replay moments after they happen. Takeaway: you're not awkward, you're observant. You learned awareness as a survival skill. High self awareness is often learned, not chosen. If growing up meant reading moods, if emotional shifts felt unpredictable, if approval felt conditional, your brain adapted. It learned one rule: pay attention, miss nothing. That awareness kept you safe months, so your mind never let it go. Takeaway: what protected you then may be exhausting you now. You believe awareness prevents mistakes. There's a quiet belief running in the background: if I stay aware enough, nothing will go wrong. So you monitor yourself, constantly adjusting, constantly checking. Psychology links this to control coping, using awareness to feel safe. But awareness doesn't always prevent mistakes, it just makes you tired trying. Takeaway: awareness helps, hyper awareness drains. You feel responsible for other people's emotions. You don't only ask, "What did I say?" You ask, "How did they feel because of me?" This comes from high empathy and emotional intelligence. You track emotional impact instinctively: tone, timing, energy. But empathy slowly turns into self pressure. You start carrying emotions that were never yours to hold. Takeaway: caring deeply doesn't mean carrying everything. You notice details most people never register: a pause that lasts half a second longer, a delayed reply, a subtle shift in tone. Your brain catches micro signals. Psychologists call this heightened social sensitivity. You read the room before others even realize there is one. Takeaway: sensitivity is perception, not weakness. Social feedback hits you harder than it should. Praise feels good, but criticism lingers. Your brain weighs social feedback heavily, especially negative feedback. This is social evaluation sensitivity. You don't just hear feedback, you absorb it. This is where self awareness quietly turns into weight. Takeaway: depth amplifies impact. Filtering is a skill you must learn. Here's the part most people don't talk about. Your awareness doesn't stop when the moment ends. It follows you home, into silence, into rest. Your mind reviews performance, not because you're insecure, because it's trained to. Most people blame stress for this. That's not the real reason. Takeaway: awareness doesn't need to run all night. You have a strong inner narrator. Your thoughts don't whisper, they narrate. You explain yourself to yourself. Replay conversations, add commentary. Psychology calls this high metacognition, thinking about thinking. It makes you reflective, insightful, and mentally busy. Takeaway: reflection is powerful, silence is too. You're harder on yourself than anyone else is. You notice flaws others never saw. You criticize details no one remembers. This comes from internalized standards. Your mind sets the bar, then watches you struggle to reach it. Takeaway: the audience isn't as strict as the judge in your head. You mistake awareness for growth. You think, if I keep noticing, I'll keep improving. But awareness without compassion becomes self surveillance. You don't grow from constant correction, you grow from understanding. Takeaway: you don't need fixing, you need balance. You feel on even when you're alone. Your awareness doesn't turn off in private. You rehearse conversations that haven't happened, analyze reactions that never came. This isn't anxiety, it's vigilance. Your mind stays alert by default. Takeaway: rest isn't inactivity, it's permission. This is why spontaneity feels hard. Spontaneity requires forgetting yourself, but you rarely forget yourself. You think before speaking, then think again. This isn't shyness, it's self observation. And this is why people like you are often misunderstood. Takeaway: freedom comes from letting go briefly. You care deeply about alignment. You want your words to match your values, your actions to match your identity. Psychology calls this high conscientiousness. You care about integrity, but constant checking turns alignment into pressure. Takeaway: alignment matters, rigidity doesn't. You think everyone sees you as clearly as you see yourself. This is the spotlight effect. You overestimate how much attention others pay to you. Because you're aware of yourself, you assume others are too. They're not. Takeaway: most people are busy watching themselves. You analyze emotions instead of feeling them. You label emotions quickly. This is anxiety. This is discomfort. Labeling helps, but it can also create distance. You process emotions cognitively before letting them move through you. Takeaway: understanding emotions isn't the same as releasing them. You live by invisible rules, rules no one else knows. How I should act, how I should respond, how I should be. You didn't choose these rules, you absorbed them. Takeaway: not every rule deserves obedience. You believe awareness associates with maturity. You believe being aware makes you grown, and often it does. But maturity also includes letting things slide, letting moments pass. Takeaway: wisdom knows when to look away. You hate being misunderstood. Misunderstanding feels personal, so you explain, clarify, adjust. This comes from identity sensitivity. You want to be seen accurately. Takeaway: you don't need full understanding to be valid. This is why you feel mentally tired. Your body's fine, your mind is busy. Constant awareness drains energy, not because it's bad, but because it never rests. Takeaway: mental rest is a learnable skill. You struggle to just be. Being requires presence. Awareness pulls you into observation, so you hover between living and watching. Takeaway: life happens when observation pauses. You crave depth, not surface connections. Shallow interactions feel empty to you. You want meaning, substance, truth. That's why you connect deeply, but with fewer people. Takeaway: depth is selective by nature. You blame yourself for things outside your control. Because you're aware, you assume responsibility. If I noticed it, I could have changed it. That's false causality. Takeaway: awareness doesn't equal control. You struggle to let moments end. You bookmark experiences, revisit them, reevaluate them. Awareness keeps memory active. Takeaway: some moments don't need reviews. People think you're quiet, but your mind is loud. You're not disengaged, you're processing. Silence doesn't mean emptiness. Takeaway: quiet minds aren't empty minds. Here's the truth that changes everything. High self-awareness is a gift. The gifts need handling. When awareness turns into gentleness, it becomes wisdom. When it turns into judgment, it becomes a burden. So if you saw yourself in this, if your mind is always watching itself, you're not broken. You're perceptive, thoughtful, deep. And if you know someone who's always in their head, this explains them too. Just remember this: you don't need to observe yourself every second to deserve peace. If this felt like someone quietly describing your inner world, this channel is for you. Subscribe to Curioset. We decode the parts of the mind most people never talk about, because understanding your mind is the first form of rest.